back to 1010's podcast, the foremost authority on all things rice. Welcome back.
Yay!
We had such good response from our Dude Am I a Ricer podcast.
Might be a recurring bit.
It might be a recurring bit.
So if you feel like now you want to contribute and you want to know, dude, am I a ricer?
You can send us a message. We will save it, and when we redo this bit sometime in the future, we will use it then.
Next week.
We'll do this every other week.
That's all we're doing. This is the Dude Am I a Ricer podcast.
We're changing our name.
We're going to have to get a phone number, though, because like other podcasts, like Adam Carolla does that too, except he probably has enough listeners that it's live, but he has a call-in phone number.
DWA has a call-in phone number with an answering machine.
I wonder how that works.
We can give him your number.
No.
If you want Michael's back number, just email us and I'll give it to you.
Yeah, just shoot me an email.
Rude.
10tenspodcast@gmail.com.
Unless you are a female, please do not email us for my phone number. Thank you very much.
Don't worry. We'll give it out publicly.
If you want to get in contact with us, you can do it via email or you can do it on Facebook and Instagram at the number 1010s podcast on Twitter. Please go to 10tenspodcast.com and hit up the store. Robbie shared with us all of the wonderful colors of shirts that are available, especially in women's shirts.
Yep, lots of colors.
There are tons and tons of options for women's shirts and men's shirts and pillowcases.
They're not pillowcases.
They're not cases.
They're 18
They're
by
actual
18.
They're actual pillows?
Yes.
I sprung for the extra with the filling.
That's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody who was like, I thought they were pillowcases. No, dude, they're real pillows.
I thought it was because we were talking about getting like normal bed pillows, you know what I mean? The cases for bed pillows.
They don't know.
No, these are like throw pillows.
Right,
to
yeah. They're
add
18
to
by
your
18
home decor.
pillows. Okay, but they're not even cases. They've got stuffing in them already.
Yeah, they're good to go for your
Ready
couch.
to go.
So
Solid.
snuggle up.
Solid. What else we got since last week?
Well, we were on another show.
We were on another show. Rags to Races.
Make sure to go and check him out. He's on iTunes at least. I don't know if he's anywhere else because I'm a bad person, I guess, but I know he's at least on iTunes.
He has a Facebook page and a Twitter and an Instagram.
You can find him at Rags to Races.
Yes, we were on his show probably a couple weeks ago now by the time that this comes out, but
Yeah, that's true.
did a little interview with him. His bid is inexpensive racing, if you couldn't have put that together already.
Yep.
So if that's something you're interested in, you can check out his podcast.
If you're teetering on the edge of trying to decide whether or not this racing thing is for you, he might be able to offer some tips on how to teeter over the edge.
And then Adam, you had something since last week, didn't you? Something you were going to share? Something that's coming up on the calendar?
Yes, Robbie.
Yeah, I don't know why you're looking at me that way.
Robbie doesn't even know
I
what
have
I'm
a
talking
clue.
about. Robbie's forgotten.
There's probably a reason I forgot.
This event happened before we even started the podcast. 1 year ago on Saturday, which if you're listening to this when this comes out, it would have been yesterday. But right now as we're recording this is 3 days from now.
So October 1st.
October 1st.
2016. 2015 in this case.
2015, Nissan released those snow-modified crossover SUVs with the tracks.
What are they called? The Rogue Warriors?
Rogue Warriors.
The Rogue Warriors.
Say your catchphrase. Just get it out of the way.
Oh, we're going Rogue.
So that means he's getting them.
So last year I shared that on your wall, and Michael and I kind of poked and prodded at you because that's something we've been doing long before the podcast was a thing. And you said next year.
Huh.
And I said, I'm going to put this on my calendar and demand receipts a year from today.
I don't think they're commercially available.
Not with that attitude.
I know.
So let's get them, Robbie. Where are your snow tracks for your bitchin' Rogue?
You need them. Winter is coming, sir.
Winter is approaching.
They do make those things you can drive up into.
Yeah.
That's not the same, though.
It's not the same.
Those
I
aren't as
have to
cool.
get the actual track.
For sure.
Listen, Robbie.
Then you and Ken Block can do sweet off-road snow things.
On Saturday, November 12th, which I assume I put this on my calendar a year ago, and I think I invited you to it, it says, help Robbie install Rogue tracks. And that is a weekend-long event. It goes from 8 a.m. on Saturday until 9 a.m. on Sunday. So I guess we're just going to pull an all-nighter on that.
25 hours.
Why wouldn't we?
So, yeah, ball's in your court. You better get your shit together.
I'll see what I can do.
See how dedicated we were to this? Not only did I have something, but Michael did too.
It was
We
highly
both were
professional.
like,
It was on my calendar.
I'm fairly certain I declined both these invites.
I don't think you did. I think you... No, I remember the conversation now. What you said was, I'm going to tell him I'll do it next year, and they won't remember, so it'll just go away and we'll never have to have this conversation again. And I remember your snide comments about it, and that's why I put it in my calendar, because I said, fine, I will remind you in a year about this, and we will do it then. And you said, fine. So you have to do it.
No, it's not on my calendar.
My favorite part about this is that at the time that this happened, you had no idea that we were going to put it out for the whole world to find out that you had said this, because we had no intentions of doing a podcast at that point in our lives.
That's true. Well, if I had all the money in the world, I'd be all about it, but sorry.
I mean, how important is this LS swapped?
More important than a Rogue Warrior.
I don't know, dude. Rogue Warrior's pretty unique.
You got to live up to your catchphrase.
Yeah, if you're going to live that rogue lifestyle, that going rogue lifestyle, just get the tracks, bro.
So I need to get off-road tracks for the Rogue. I need an Aston Martin and an LS for my 240.
We don't have to get let's start with the Rogue. Improve the Rogue, and then we'll go back and we'll get...
I need all-wheel drive for that, though.
I would take back every terrible thing I've ever said about the Rogue if it was tracked.
Okay.
I will second that.
So, moving on.
I just forwarded him the reminder for his calendar, so just don't forget. That's all I'm saying. Just let me know. I mean, we can move it, but I don't want to move it very much, because mid-November, you're going to need those.
By then, it's pushing it. Yeah.
It's probably snow on the ground. I'm going to wish I had them.
When you get stuck in the snow this winter,
we're gonna laugh.
I
will drive over to where you are, and I will stand there and laugh at you. And
I will pray all winter that I never get stuck. And if I do get stuck, I won't let either one of you know. So no other responsibility.
Michael will drive over there with an all-wheel drive LS-powered vehicle and laugh at you.
And then leave immediately.
Top Gear
with
style.
My seat warmers on. Top Gear style. Leave a man behind. Peace out, Robbie. You got all seasons on that?
No.
They're just whatever.
Yeah,
they're eco tires.
Yeah, probably.
Dude, you're gonna get so fucking stuck. It's gonna be unbelievable.
At least I have snow tires on my two-wheel drive.
Dude, we're trying to do you a favor.
Yeah.
You act like we're the assholes
you,
here.
Robbie.
Yeah. You could get stuck in the middle of fucking nowhere like we almost did that one time.
We almost died.
We could have almost died.
we would have frozen.
We would have had to call the police if it got any worse. But anyway. No, seriously, like if we were stuck out there in the middle of nowhere and it was -8, we would have had to call the cops.
You know, frankly, the fact that we ran my truck out of oil and almost killed the motor wasn't even the closest to dying that we came that day.
No, there were multiple times that we almost died that
We
day.
almost got pancaked underneath a semi that was facing the wrong direction.
In between two semis at one point as well. It was
a day.
It
was worth it. Totally worth it.
So anyway, I don't want Robbie to get out of this. So we're just looking out for your well-being, that's all.
Okay, I'll see what I can find for
help
tracks.
me to help you.
All right, we'll get on this.
If nothing else, we should just come over here and install like chains on his tires just to be assholes, just in the middle of the night because he leaves his car outside and just jack it up, put chains on it. What the fuck is that noise?
Oh my God, let's do
chains.
it. Let's do it. That's awesome.
If you could pull it off or I wouldn't wake up, I'd be really impressed.
Jack's
challenge accepted.
Do we have a listener of the week? Can we move on from this ridiculous scenario?
Who left us that rice review? What was his name? We should shout him out.
Austin Covey.
Yeah,
that was the
Covey.
best review ever.
The greatest review. I'm super pumped about it. Did you see what I commented on it?
No, what'd you say?
I told him if we were so full of ourselves that we were to leave reviews for ourselves, it would read exactly
this review.
like this.
The authority on all things rice.
Is that a compliment or a diss?
Well, Adam and I are not ricers, so it might be a diss on you.
Technically, the authority on what is and is not rice.
Ooh, so yeah,
that is a compliment.
That's a compliment
Okay.
for sure.
Yeah.
Phrasing.
Nice.
It's all about the phrasing.
We're an authority of something.
Hey, that is true. We are
This
an
is
authority.
what happens when you're on the internet. People believe you. You suddenly become.
Oh, by the
somewhat
way,
of an
I was
authority.
told many things we were wrong about last week, but the one thing I was told we were wrong about is there was a Mark I Fiesta in the U.S.
Oh, really?
You could buy it here. It was so I actually researched
12
it.
people bought them?
That was the problem. Nobody bought them. There was not a Mark II Fiesta in the United States, let's put it that way. But it was meant to be like a Golf, like a world, we sell it everywhere.
Yeah.
Like they're doing now again.
Yeah.
They must have got pretty burned on that first one.
Speaking of Fiestas, I drove a Fiesta ST this weekend.
Ooh, what'd you think of that?
Don bought one. It's fun. I like it.
Yeah. Zippy?
If I were to pick a car that meets all of my daily driver needs and Robbie's daily driver needs, I think that would be the
Fiesta
car I would go
ST.
with. Yeah.
Have you decided on a new daily then?
No, I'm not buying a new car. Are you kidding me?
Well, no, it's not
Do you get a new
it's
like-
used.
It's like $17,000 more than I want to spend on a car.
Like
They're like 19 grand. So you do the math
starting
on that
it.
one.
Yeah. Did he get the Recaros?
Yeah, he has the full package.
Nice.
Although, it's a bit ricer because
The seats?
no, it's got red brake calipers, but they don't say Brembo on them.
Oh, that's rice for sure, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Factory,
Okay. Any non-labeled brand name brake caliper that let's throw this in there too is not powder coated. It's got to be fucking powder coated for sure. Is ricer. If you paint your
God damn it.
If you paint yours are powder coated though, aren't they?
No, they're not.
Damn it, Ryan. God damn it. Are they brand? No, they're not a brand, are they?
They're
just
the,
three.
They're the
300.
350Z. Yeah, 370Z.
Damn it, Rob.
300ZX. My
You
goodness.
could have even got those as oh no, I don't know if the 300ZX had a Brembo. The
No, they did
350 had a Brembo.
Yeah, the
Can you get a 350 kit for that?
I have Brembo rotors. That doesn't do any good.
No.
No, we're
It's
not
got to be
counting
Brembo
that.
calipers. Yeah, if you've got any caliper that you have painted or that the factory painted in an attempt to make it look, air quotes, sporty by some marketing people, that is ricer.
My salesman bought
Except for black. If you paint them black, I'll give you a pass on it.
yeah, just because it kind of hides it and I'm okay with it. My salesman on his A8L has plastic 3M adhesive covers that are red.
Even more ricer.
Ultra rice.
I never even thought of that. Holy cow. See,
Oh, do you remember?
we really are just going to become the Am
the
I a Ricer
Am I a
podcast.
Ricer podcast. Do you remember the Fiat 500 Abarth with the Italian flag plastic?
Those are-
brake caliper covers.
Are those kind of cool, though?
No, they are not.
No, I hate them so much. I hate them so bad.
That's
Sorry
as,
if you
that's,
listen.
That's
dude,
as bad
but
as the disc cover that goes over your drum brakes.
That's a hot rod thing,
That's bad too.
but it's rice.
yeah,
that's so
I
rice.
hate
But
that
it's
as
still
well.
rice. That would be a hot rod thing that's rice for sure. Because I've seen that.
pretty rice.
I've seen that more often on hot rods than on anything else. They'll have drums in the back still, and they put that fake disc plastic thing on it.
Oh, I got one for you. Since this is due to my Ricer podcast, what
We're
about
there now?
what about brake drums that are painted red? What is that? Because I don't know that's
That's
rice.
dangerous. I think is what
That's
that is.
as
stupid.
bad as the front's being painted red.
Yeah, but
Oh, break drums?
the drum
Oh, God.
itself.
That's calling attention to the fact that you have
You
a
have
cheap
drum brakes.
economy car. Why would you do that?
I don't know. You see it. The hot rod guys do it though. Some like
doesn't-
cheap hot rod guys do it.
It's not a pass.
You think it's rice?
Yes.
I just think it's terrible. Let's not do it.
That makes it rice.
We're gonna burn through our whole topics
Probably.
for the next one.
Anyway,
let's
I
not
kind of
discuss
enjoyed
it
the
anymore.
Fiesta ST. It was a fun little car.
It's good. I almost bought one, except for the dealership pissing me off.
They're good, though. They're fun. Don immediately modified his because it didn't make enough turbo noises. So,
You get a nice blow-off valve.
excuse me.
We're all
Yeah,
set,
he
sorry.
bought some sort of thing.
Neat.
I don't know, but he paid for an extended warranty and then immediately modified it, swearing up and down that the service manager at the dealership said it wouldn't void his warranty.
Yes,
And I
it
said, well,
would. It did already.
let me know how that goes when you blow the motor up.
That's not ideal. That's not an
think
ideal
that's-
scenario.
Yeah. He swears up and down he's good, and I hope to God he's right.
I hope he's right, but
Warranties are
I
expensive.
don't think so.
It wasn't too bad.
Oh, it wasn't?
No, it basically makes it so. Don't quote me on miles or anything like that, and I'm not even going to guess on the price. It wasn't too bad, but basically the motor has one warranty and
Yeah.
the bumper-to-bumper has the rest.
Yeah, for sure.
And then basically what that extended warranty does is it makes it all the same.
Oh, okay. Because I can tell you, because I asked, because I did consumer things to buy the Veloster, and now I just do 6-liter things. But I did, at one point, I was a genuine consumer of automobiles.
He was surfing Edmonds.
Yeah, I was comparing warranties and things and looking at running costs, and it was terrible. But so on at least the ST, it's 36,000 miles or 3 years bumper to bumper, and then the drivetrain is 60 in 6 years, I believe.
All I know is that it brings it
It's
up
all
to
the
being
same.
equal, except for consumables. So,
Right.
Pads and rotors, tires, not covered.
The bumper to bumper it's a nice deal. Anything goes wrong because I had the Bluetooth in my radio fail, and remember when we got back from Grid Life, my fan switch stopped working.
No, I don't remember that.
It was 1 or 4, and 4 was like
if
in
I
front
would
of
have
a cattle
remembered,
fan, you know what I mean? Like you're just getting blown over, you can't hear shit because there's just so much fan happening. And one was like a mouse in the dash, like blowing air on you, and so you got no in between.
Weird.
Yeah, I don't know. It was right after we got back from Grid Life. It failed.
I've never owned a car with a warranty.
Me neither.
Nah.
You've never really never.
He had a 300,000 mile Toyota RAV4. Do you think he had a warranty?
You didn't do any warranty for. No, the Rogue was over 100 when you got it too.
Yeah, I
wasn't
think
it?
if my dad probably had a warranty on the RAV when he bought it, and then by the time I got it, it was already long gone. And then
Interesting.
Same with the Rogue. And
Interesting.
Clearly, the Equinox and the 240 do not have warranties, being old and broken.
The Equinox wasn't at 100 when you got it though, was it?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, it was over 100 too.
Yeah, that's where my problems all started.
Oh, I thought it was at like 80 and then it still shit out. It was a complete piece of shit.
Well, yeah,
It was a complete piece of shit. I just thought it was more of a complete piece of shit than it really was.
No.
My second Audi when I bought it, my blue TT, had low enough miles, but it was too old. Because it was owned by an engineer and it was his fun car.
Never
and
drove
the
it.
story I was given was that he decided if he was going to own a fun car and never drive it, it'd just as well be something bitchin', so he bought a GT500.
Okay, fair enough.
That is more bitchin'.
Yeah, I bought the car and I couldn't argue with it. I mean,
That's a fair point.
V8 supercharger noises or some tiny little German car that breaks down all the time. Yeah, I know which one I'd take too.
Yeah.
For sure. Agreed.
So
You want to say anything about that off-road event?
I kind of do. It was
Okay.
cool. So I found out Saturday night after eating with Don and driving his Fiesta ST that the Jeep show that happens in my town I live in was happening that weekend. And if I'd have known that earlier, I probably would have tried to line something up for Michael to complete his bucket
Do my Jeep
list.
things.
I have at least 3 people who are ready and willing at this point now.
Oh, they're online?
Yeah.
Sweet. Let's do it. I'd
So
like to do it.
3, if not 4 people who are like, yeah, we can do that.
I need to do
We'll figure
about
something out.
75 things before the frost sets in.
One of them was like, let's do it soon before the frost sets in.
Really?
So-
Somebody said that?
Yeah.
Shit. We should talk about that after.
Okay. So anyway, basically they set up like this obstacle course, and it has varying degrees of difficulty. And all of the obstacles have like a path you can take around them. So if your Jeep is not up to the task, you can drive around it.
Yeah.
And there were 2 obstacles there that I never saw anybody. One obstacle nobody even tried when I was
Lame.
there. And the other obstacle, one person attempted and failed and just about rolled the bitch over.
Solid.
I saw 2 of them just about flip on 2 different obstacles. There were lots of Jeep Wranglers with taller tires, but basically completely stock other than that. And like husband and wives who like, I give a Jeep, and they go out there and they slam their belly pan on the bottom of a rock, and you could
Ow.
see the wife like cringing and getting mad in the
moron.
passenger
Yeah.
seat. Like, what are you doing? Because it's her daily driver. He's just taking it, But there was everything from those to like full on off-road rigs. And I mean it was cool. There were probably 30 or 40 Jeeps there. It was decent sized. So,
I'd like to ask those guys more questions about when they do these things
yeah,
or where.
I went out and found their Facebook page and subscribed to their event list. So, we will be notified.
I'm sure it's just like autocross. You're just like, I have no idea. And then you realize, oh, they're doing one every 2 weeks. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like,
It's the same deal.
The guy that introduced me to the SCCA jokingly called it the Secret Car Club of America, that sort of deal.
Yeah, I bet it's exactly the same thing. If you want to do off-road things, I'm sure you can do them regularly.
There was somebody there. It never came off the trailer. It was the front end and tailgate of a Scout 1, but everything else in between it was not Scout. Like big block Chevy. It was as wide as it was long and had like huge balloon super swamper tires on it. And it looked like one of those mud bog racing rigs.
Yeah. Yep.
And it makes me wonder if that is happening around here, because that is something I want to
Fucking
go
do
and
that
witness.
for sure. Mud bog stuff.
That would be sweet.
That'd be a lot of fun.
We could do that with your tracked Rogue.
See, now we're going.
See, now you have to get it, Robbie, because it's for the show.
Yeah.
It's for the
tracks,
good.
The tracks are probably outlawed. You have to have the big tires.
No, it's not. Robbie.
I'm betting if you showed up with a Nissan Rogue that had tracks on it, it'd be like, yeah, jump to the front of the line.
Please go first, sir.
Don't even bother with the tech inspection line. Roll right through it.
They would point me to the exit and say, beat it, nerd.
No,
Robbie, it's for the good of the show. We can use it in the summertime. It's going to save your life and potentially the life of anybody in your car in the wintertime. It's going to save you the embarrassment of me laughing at you when you get stuck.
That alone would be worth it.
Publicly berating you on the show.
Right. I'm going to tell everybody. I'm going to take pictures, professional pictures, of course, and put them all over the internet.
He's been practicing.
I've been taking pictures.
He's been practicing and taking pictures of things that aren't moving,
Robbie,
which would be you in this
a year.
situation.
I've been working on this for a year to embarrass you publicly.
Next year.
Damn it. Just
all right.
listen.
I'm just going to make that a reoccurring forever in my
I like it. Every winter from now on. You have tracks yet, bro?
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Okay, great.
So there was a guy there in like a brand new Jeep Grand Cherokee, you know, the kind of like ugly one that they like changed the suspension style on, and so now everyone was like, oh my god, we can't lift him anymore. And
yeah, you can only lift it like 3 inches.
Yeah, do you know what it is? What's it different?
No, I'm not sure. No.
Okay, we're not even going to quote it because we'll be way wrong.
Google it.
When you do know, send us a message. But anyway, he was there with that, still had the Dewey
sticker on it,
tags on it.
Oh shit! Like
and
he
still
just
had
bought
the
it.
grease pen from an auction.
Oh boy!
And I was like, "Does your sales manager know you're here banging the bottom of that thing on there?" And he was like coming up to an obstacle, and he kind of looks out the window because there's course workers, for lack of a better term, like standing there, and he's like, "You think I'll clear that? No, go around." Oh, okay.
Sounds like he straight up stole that off the lot.
That was my question.
Showed up, came off the semi truck.
Like, are you their wash boy? Like, do they realize you're here with them?
Yeah, right. Where are you supposed to be?
He didn't look any older than me. I mean, he didn't look like he should be having that.
He was probably supposed to be taking it to get gas in it and get it detailed.
It did not have a paper plate in it, and it still had auction grease pen on the windshield, which tells me that it was not probably supposed to be there.
Sketchy. I saw a dude in a Corvette with dealer tags on it at Marshalltown.
Yeah, I was there for that.
You remember that? And
yeah.
I was like, dude, we should figure out which dealer that is and not ever go there, ever.
I would be lying to you if I said we never took lot cars out and beat the snot out of them when I worked at a dealership. I would work on Saturdays because, you know, I was a school kid, so I could only work so many hours. And my dealership was right next to a grain elevator. So when trucks are unloading and loading there was all this like grain dust flying through the air, and it would stick to car paint like fucking glue. And you could start on one end of the lot, wash every car in that lot, and by the time you got to the other end, the first car was dirty again. So I had constantly
going through.
Like it was not a problem. And so I'd be there Saturday. The shop, the garage closed at noon, but the sales floor stayed open till 3, so I would work till 3 just to get some extra hours in. And it was not entirely uncommon for my boss to come back there with the keys to the GTO we had bought from auction that week and just throw them at me. Let's go play. Yeah, okay, I can do that.
That's cool, boss.
Yeah, he was a diehard car guy. That's how I got the job. He was in the car club with my father. My dad went in there one day to ask him about some like, you know, hey, I need something, whatever, and I left with a job. That was how I got that.
Interesting.
But yeah, I would be lying if I said we never beat on a couple of lot cars. Although they were never new ones; they were always used.
Yeah,
ones.
for sure.
So that guy at Marshalltown, they were saying that was he was on a test drive.
You got to be shitting me.
That was the thing I was questioning.
That's what people were saying that he.
Oh, they let him borrow it for like the day.
Was taking it for the day to test drive. He was air quote serious buyer. Took it to Marshalltown, raced it.
That's a bad deal.
You could tell he was halfway babying it because there was a lot more in the tank than what he was putting down.
Was he babying it, or was that the limit of his driver's skill?
You could argue either way.
We've never seen that guy again.
Yeah, I'd never seen him before, and when I watched him, I'm like, he's not pushing as hard as he could.
Dude, that guy's an idiot. Because I almost looked up because you can search the dealer number. It's on the plate. You could figure it out.
Oh yeah.
So we could have fucking said something like, how do you know that? I mean, where did the car come from? Presumably Marshalltown, probably. It's not a very big town. No. Somebody probably knows you're doing that, dude. Like, put 2 and 2 together, man. Not smart. Not smart at all.
That's a risk not worth taking.
No, not at all.
There's a lot of dealerships that I think are almost too willing to give you extended, like overnight or over weekend test drives just to close a deal.
What are you suggesting?
I'm not suggesting anything. I am simply stating that there are some places that are almost overly eager to do that for you.
Yeah, especially when you start getting into air quotes high-end cars, like here in Des Moines, like a Corvette.
Josh did it with a used Subaru once.
A used Subaru?
Yeah, him and his wife just kind of like stopped.
For those? Do you even need salespeople for those?
Not in Central Iowa.
No. Just shut up and take it. You're not getting a discount, so just here, sign the paperwork.
If you walk in with a vape pen and a flat build hat, they don't even bother trying to sell it.
They just put the paper in front of you and said, I marked it up another $2,000. You're going to buy it anyway, asshole. Just sign the paper. It's not your check anyway. It's your mom's. Let's just get this done with.
Oh, sick burn.
Anyway, what happened?
He's on fire.
What happened? How did I get here? Anything else on that off-road deal?
I don't know. It's cool. We're definitely going to have to plan ahead next year.
Yeah.
But if we don't get your off-road bucket list checked off this year, we can definitely line something up next year.
Yeah.
Feeling pretty good
We
about
should try to do that this year, but yeah, I'm with you.
Now I'm really slacking on my bucket list because I don't have leads on any.
I tried sending stuff to Jalopnik, and they didn't like me.
You find a better site anyways.
I think I could find a better site. I'll say it out loud. I don't give a shit.
Track tuned?
Track tuned.
We'll call it good.
Nah, I want to shoot a little
no offense.
higher. No offense. No offense at all to Track Tune, because I'm very grateful that they let me put my crap on their website. But yeah, something nationally recognized
or internationally
recognized would be sweet. It doesn't have to be Jalopnik, since they didn't give a shit.
But what else could it be then?
Drive would be one.
Autoblog?
But I don't. Drive doesn't really do guest editorials, do they?
I'm not sure. I kind of started looking at it, but I'm not really sure.
I bet you could, if we could get a press car and write a review about it. You could get it picked up.
That would be that'd be almost two things.
You could get it picked up by Road and Track or Car and Driver or something like that.
I would count that as my other one, which was go to a press event. If I could get a press car and write an article and get it in something, I would count that as two and just take them off.
Bam, knocking them down.
Because if you can get a press car, you can surely go to a press event. It's not that much different, I wouldn't think.
I would think that you could probably get to an event easier than they'll let you take a car.
That's true.
Unsupervised.
Here you go. Here is a car, sir. We drove it here to you, and here is some gasoline. As opposed to you could show up here, and we could supervise you while you do stupid stuff to our car.
I think our biggest hurdle to getting press cars is our location.
Yeah.
If we lived in Chicago, I bet they have press fleets. They probably don't have a press fleet in Des Moines, Iowa.
No.
It's true.
Maybe during the state fair.
That's true. Maybe they do make passes. Well, they got to... I wonder if they go over to... Anyway, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, this is not good
This is internal
podcast
conversation.
stuff.
Not really.
Now you know the inner workings of us. So...
Boom. The rest of this show is going to be news, right, Robbie? Sort of.
Sort of.
So
The first one's
news.
not really news. Motor Trend came out with the best driver's car lineup, and this year they included the Aston Martin V12 Vantage S, the BMW M4 GTS, the Nissan GTR, the Jaguar F-Type SVR, the Acura NSX, the Audi R8 V10, the Mercedes-AMG GTS S, the Dodge Viper ACR, the Camaro SS 1LE, the Porsche 911 Carrera S, the Shelby GTR or GT350R, and the McLaren 570S. And then they took them out, drove them on the road, then they drove them on the track, and then they decided which was the best driver's car.
Yes. Not car of the year, driver's car.
Driver's car, which to me is kind of a weird concept, because when I think driver's car, I think track day car, like a car that I drive on the street sometimes, and then mostly it's intended for being like a race car, like track day car.
See, I think when I think driver's car, I think a car that you take out and throw around on twisty back roads more and occasionally do track day stuff with.
Right.
A car that's fun to drive on the road.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I came to my conclusion on what car I would actually want.
So you, just to be clear, the way you read it was in reverse order. So the Aston Martin was 12th. This is their standings for what they decided.
Yeah, so when I read it, it was literally how they did it. So Aston Martin was worst. Yeah, they picked the McLaren 570S.
Yep. So what were you going to say? What did you determine, sir?
Well, if you line these cars all up in front of me and you're like, drive one,
Yeah.
My first gut instinct is the Dodge Viper ACR because I think that would be probably the most fun to drive on track.
Number 5.
Yep.
For those keeping track.
Yep. And like after we've talked about it and I've looked into it, a Viper would just be fun. But after watching their video and kind of like thinking about it and driving the 240 as I've had in the past, because it's got racing suspension and you can dial it in to however stiff you want it.
Yeah.
And if you're going at like a racetrack setting, it is murder to drive it on the road. I actually had it on the stiffest setting one time, just out of curiosity, and drove it to the gas station and back. It's undrivable.
Thought you were going to die.
Yeah, it's
Spine's going to come out.
You're bouncing the seat so bad, and then if you hit a resonance, the whole car's just bouncing like a boat, and you can't drive it. And if
That's how my Omni used to be.
If the Viper is half as stiff as they claim it is, it's not. You can't drive it on the street. And then I actually would agree with them that my second choice on a track would be the McLaren 570S. And if it was going to be a sweeping back road, I would agree that the McLaren 570S is probably the most fun car for me for that.
See, I think that the problem with back roads and drivers' cars, as I define it, and every single car on that list, is that you cannot legally push any of those cars to their limit on the street.
Not even a little bit.
Which makes none of those cars drivers' cars to me.
You'd
The way
still be in
I
jail.
define driver's car, you can't really do it on anything above like Miata, BRZ, maybe V6 Camaro level.
Yeah, so you could argue that the Mustang and Camaro can make that list.
I don't think that, because they chose the track pack versions of those cars. Now, apparently the new Camaro, you can get the 1LE package in either the V6 or the V8.
Okay.
So I would take a V6 1LE as a driver's car.
And apparently
But the
the
V8
engine is awesome. That
Yeah,
V6 is awesome. It sounds so fucking good.
There was somebody just had to have been like Friday of last week or, late last week. I was at work. I was outside and somebody pulled out of a parking lot and got on their V6, their new V6 Camaro. Mucho Lyco.
Yeah, if you're curious, you should go to Jalopnik, like search V6 Camaro exhaust Jalopnik. It sounds like the Jag, man. It's so
angry.
good.
It's
so good.
I would almost have a hard time, because they have the 1LE package on either one, I'd have a hard time picking the V8 over the V6 at this point.
Wow.
If I was buying it as a driver's car, I would definitely buy the V6.
Yeah.
But that's my definition of driver's car. To me, none of those cars classifies that, because they're all supercars and they're all too fast. They all have way too wide and way too sticky of a tire to be able to push to their limits legally on the street.
Yeah, so like when I first saw it, when I thought driver's car, I thought like race driver, like someone that's going to be tracking these things. And even when you
your
watch,
definition of driver car fits all of those cars
Yes.
way better than what I define as driver's
so
car.
even on the Motor Trend video when they take these cars out, the 10 minutes of the 30-minute video, 40-minute video is on the sweeping back roads before they go, these are all way too powerful. We can't drive this. Well, then
What are we doing here?
yeah,
you need to choose different cars.
you
Though.
you pick different cars or change the title to being the best track day car that we happen to drive on the street a little
the
bit.
best supercar thing.
Yeah.
or whatever.
When I was reading through this stuff, they do have a lower powered segment that they're going to be coming out with at some point in time this year.
They do. It'd be interesting to see what that is, because that'll have the Miata and they said the Fiat in it.
But then, like, they have the M2 on there.
In that segment,
I think that was on the list. The
Isn't it
M2,
like
the
300
V6 Camaro.
isn't the M2 like 350 horsepower?
I think that's pushing the upper limit of being able to be
it's
called.
the same deal.
That's the very bleeding edge of that.
Yeah.
I don't know that the M2, like, if you are actually driving it hard, it may be more fun, but I don't know that it's significantly faster than the V6 Camaro around a track or on a road.
Yeah, it's probably true.
This is complete and total.
Making shit up as we go along here.
Just rolling with it. But I don't know.
It's interesting. I had like some blend of what the two of you came up with, because my thought of like a driver's car is that it's a Sunday and it's nice out and I want a car that's an event to drive. I may not be driving it at the limit on the road, but it's like it's a bunch of nonsense. And, my problem with the McLaren, and it's also the reason that I think the McLaren is awesome, but my problem with it for this particular instance is that it's too good.
Calculated?
It's too perfect. Everybody says it's fucking perfect. It's the best.
Hyper-engineered.
It's too much. So I picked the Aston Martin because I think it's going to be the worst one. But I think
can't you get that with a good old-fashioned row it yourself?
Yep.
It's got to be in a driver's car.
I
know a lot of people make the argument that the manual is dead and we just need to get over it. But if I'm buying a car for pure driving enjoyment, I still think it has to have that.
Absolutely.
I still think of the list, I think that's the one that's going to be the most, besides the Viper, which to your point, Robbie, might be too much. It's too far the other way. I think it's the one that you're going to enjoy the most. It's going to be the most involving. It's going to be the one you're driving around without the stereo on. Because I think if you're driving around in like the M4, for instance, like what are you paying? You're just going to. It's just a BMW. Even the AMG, which AMGs are crazy. I still think it's just going to be too normal most of the time. I want something.
Those are cars you could drive every single day. They don't have a sense of occasion.
Right, and I think the Aston Martin is going to be the dumbest. It's the car that doesn't make any sense.
It's silly.
It's
fun.
silly. It is fun, but the ACR is the same way. So if somebody said the ACR, I'd totally be on board.
I think the Viper that they should have used is not the ACR. They should have used the base
GTS.
Viper, the GTS. I think that would have been a better car for your complaint, Robbie.
Yeah, I think so too. Because then it's more streetable. You get comfortably.
It's a car I could drive, and I don't have to worry about my carbon fiber splitter and my terrible ride quality.
Right.
Because it probably isn't too bad of a handling car. I'm sure it handles great. It probably handles better than anything we've ever driven, frankly.
Oh, sure.
It's still faster than anything we've ever driven.
Yeah.
And it's more livable, but still silly and fun enough to have a sense of occasion about it.
Yeah, for sure. I couldn't have been more bored by the 911 Carrera S, by the way. It's just
right.
I don't even care about 911s anymore. Like, it just doesn't matter. It's short of a GT3 or a GT3 RS. I'm just like, it's too we've gone too far. This is my complaint with modern supercars is we've gone too far. That 90s period when you could get the F40, the XJ220, all that shit was bonkers out of fucking control. Like, this, you cannot drive this car as a normal human being.
They're silly.
You're not going to get anywhere near the limit because it will fucking kill you. You will die. That is what, in my opinion, that's what a supercar should be.
These cars are made to be as fast as they possibly can be for anybody, except maybe that Aston.
Right.
So
I think that's my opinion.
That we're going to be more interested in that lower power list they spoke of when they have things like the Fiat and the Miata and the 4C. I think was on that list.
Ooh.
Which, as far as I'm concerned, don't even bother because 4C all the things.
Number one. Oh, I saw the black one. It was in Beaverdale. It was dark, though.
Oh, my God.
I assume that's the one.
Yeah, because he claims to be the only person to have purchased one in the state of Iowa. And although that's a lofty claim, he's probably not wrong.
Yeah,
Speaking of the Turo one for this.
When I was in the dealership, they said they weren't even selling them in Iowa. They were all going other places. So it's quite possible he's got the only one. But I saw it.
Did you chase it down?
No.
Ask if he had rent it?
It was dark, and he probably would have thought I was a murderer or something, so I just let it go.
I turned 30 in just a few months.
And you're going to do it.
I'm going to rent that.
Was it just that one that was 30, or is it all of them?
I have not seen another one that has a limitation on it.
Oh, okay. So he's decided that that's the line. You go from being a 3-year-old with a Jeep that flips it down the yard when you're 29 to Ayrton Senna when you hit 30.
Yeah.
Okay.
Makes sense, logically, right? Insurance,
I guess
insurance logic?
No, it's not even insurance logic, because isn't that 20, 25, 26?
Yeah, 25.
Mine didn't go down. Thanks, insurance.
Mine did.
Did it really?
Yeah, mine went down like pretty markedly.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe I need to change insurance.
And then the next year it went down again because my parents did me the big favor of putting my insurance in my name. And I've never changed insurance companies and I've never had a claim. So in 10 years when I turned 26, I got like some platinum status or something like that. Dropped again.
10 years, no accidents?
10 years, no claims.
Boom.
The more you know.
The more you know.
Save that money.
Is there anything else to say about this Motor Trend deal?
No, I just wish I had $1 million.
If I had $1 million,
I'd buy at least one of these cars.
Here's an interesting question then. If you had $250,000, would you buy any of the cars on this list, or would you buy something else and then modify it?
I'd modify it.
I would almost never pick a stock car over a cheaper car that I can then change.
Can you rip
There
something
are
off real quick that you would buy?
almost no car on the planet that I would buy over something that's stock and could be then modified. Because I have this need to make my car my car.
This is actually a point I was going to make further down the list.
Do you want to come back to it?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. Let's
Not,
move
it
on.
has nothing to do with these cars, but it's
Okay.
what we talk about later.
We can come
We'll
back
loop
to it.
into it.
Thanks, James from Kanga Motorsports, for that one.
Yeah.
If you have suggestions about topics or anything, you should definitely hit us up on
If you want to know
on
our
socials.
opinions.
What's up next, Robbie?
So Tesla is being sued by 126 owners in Norway because the insane mode is not insane enough.
These people
Best
in
news-
Norway fucking get it, man.
Best news story of the year. My favorite news story by far.
There's a
This is
class
just
action
amazing.
lawsuit by multiple owners in Norway because their Tesla is
126.
not fast enough. I love it.
How fast does it need to be?
Well, Tesla claimed that their 0 to 60 time was between 3.1 and 3.3 seconds, and all the owners are claiming it's not even close. And then they also are claiming that their models were recorded at 469 horsepower when the advertisement is at 700 horsepower.
That's a big difference.
That's a huge difference.
Yeah, that is a massive difference.
I'll give him credit for that one. But this thing's, I guess Tesla's huge in Norway because they've got some crazy credit if you buy one there, like tax credit.
Yeah, like they're super eco-friendly. It's kind of like what they did with the Chevy Volt here, I think, where if you buy it, you get a bunch of money off or something.
Because I think they want to go like completely fuel free by like 2025 or something super crazy. Like doesn't even make sense, but they're trying.
Isn't that where Bill or whatever is? Pretty sure that's in Norway.
Is it? Yeah.
So you've got like these two extreme,
extreme size,
ends
yeah.
of things.
Yeah, if you don't know what Bill or looks like Gate Bill is, you should Google it because it's like Grid Life, but at 11. It's more.
I think it's only Grid Life at 11 because it's been going longer.
Oh, for sure.
Give Grid Life a few years, and we're going to be right at that level of insanity.
Looked like Atlanta was nuts.
Pretty fucking
Pretty fucking out of control.
already.
So, but I guess they're suing for like $7,500 a piece.
Yep.
Which really isn't that much money.
No, they
I think the option's like 10 grand or something stupid. This is on the 85D, not on the 90 or the 100.
Yep.
This is a little bit older model.
So basically,
It's
they're
still just
trying to
like
get their money back.
just the title is funny
idea,
because
yeah.
all you ever see about those Teslas is that they're just brutally fast. There was a video that I saw floating around on like 1320 video and stuff like that this week of a Tesla Model S beating the pants off of a 458. You know, they're not slow cars.
Oh, did you see there's an electric racing team and they have a Tesla that's like GT3 looking. It's got a big wang on it and a big front splitter.
There is a spec. This was actually, I was going to do this for next week because I saw it late today.
We're probably talking about the same thing.
But there is a spec Tesla Model S series that is coming. And you can apply to be a driver.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Did you see the car?
Yes.
It's sick.
Yeah.
I would drive that for sure. 100%.
Fucking ridiculous. Carbon wide body, the whole 9 yards.
It's crazy, Robbie.
You had me a carbon.
Giant wang.
Giant wang, Robbie. We know
A
how much
real
you love
wang,
wangs.
not a fake carbon fiber
it's
wang.
real carbon
It's
fiber wang.
real carbon fiber.
Nothing better than a big carbon fiber wang.
And on that note, what's the next news topic?
The Chevy Colorado ZR2 is using the Z28 Camaro's spool valve damping system suspension.
Mini Raptor.
It is a mini Raptor.
Do you see that thing?
It's probably going to cost the same as a regular Raptor.
It's so
At
cool.
least.
Well, yeah, because a normal Colorado is already absurdly expensive,
Yeah.
as we've talked about before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, their sales are already not super great compared to the Silverado because the Silverado last year sold 600,000 units compared to the like 80,000 that the Colorado sold. So, I mean, again, like we kind of talked about this before where they go, if you're going to spend that kind of money, you're just going to get the Silverado.
It's like a couple thousand more for the base
I'm going
1500.
to take a swing in the dark and say this ZR2 is going to be starting at 45,000.
Yeah, and then when you buy all the options that you want, all the
55.
options that you need, it's going to be north of 50,
Yep.
which is out of control.
Crazy expensive,
That's
dude.
so much money for
Can't
a
you-
truck that's...
Can't you get a Raptor for, don't they start at 50? Or 45?
I know you can get a used one for at least 40. So I think they're a little more
I
than
think
that.
the new one had like
Wonder
a
if
really
there's-
reasonable starting
I wonder if
price.
there's any depreciation on that truck.
There's not a lot. I know like it's anything that's posted online, it's roughly what they paid for
actually,
it.
because I was looking at trucks before I bought the Trailblazer, and they don't get cheaper.
Is that a numbered vehicle? Is that a limited production annually, or will they sell? Or will they build as many as they can sell?
The ZR2?
No, the Raptor.
No, I don't think it's limited anymore. At some point it may have been, but I don't believe that it is anymore.
Because you would think a car that does not have a limitation shouldn't really hold value too well. You know, if we can sell 500,000, we'll make 500,000.
Yeah.
It shouldn't hold its value as well as we could sell 500,000, but we're only going to make 250.
Yeah, but I'm going to say something that is going to probably set you off. It's that whole four-wheel drive thing. We are in the center of the country, Middle America. They talk about it on CNN all the time. Middle America. We're those people, and we like trucks and we like light beer. I'm generalizing. Don't send me hate mail, but you know what I mean. Like seriously, we love pickup trucks, and if it has four-wheel drive, it's made out of solid gold.
I know, and I don't get it.
But that's the problem. They just don't appreciate. And apparently they can charge whatever the fuck they want to up front, except for the Colorado. If it's a full-size truck, you can charge whatever you want for it. Because they're so expensive.
That's the problem with Colorado is that...
It should have been smaller and cheaper.
Yeah.
For sure.
They could have made a sweet Tacoma competitor.
Isn't the TRD Tacoma like 40 grand?
I think so. And even that's also kind of following the path of basically all the pickups, because the Nissan Frontier is bigger.
Yeah.
The Tundra's, or the Tacoma's
Everything's bigger. Cars, trucks, SUVs, it doesn't matter. Everything is bigger.
I wish the Taco was smaller. Because I was just, the other day I saw there was like a 04 Frontier next to an 04 Tacoma. I was like, that's fucking perfect,
That's
man.
the right size. That's
it
actually
right
the
there.
car that that's what I wanted to buy when I was trying to get the Rogue Best at the
Like a TRD
like
old Tacoma.
a Nismo Frontier is really what I wanted. Someone at my work actually had one.
They're hard to come by, though.
Yeah, they are. And again, they kind of hold their value.
Yep.
I mean, we're not talking 40,000, but...
But you're looking at Nismos, and those are mildly specialized vehicles. They
Right.
didn't sell very many of them, so I can see them holding their value.
Yeah.
But we're talking about currently produced vehicles, and they're still just as expensive as if you were to buy it new. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Colorado, because we're talking more about the Raptor here. I don't know.
It's interesting. Maybe
The pictures I saw were still in camo.
Yeah.
It looks a lot like it's the same body style, and they're just amping it up for the air quoted off-road use.
Well, that's all they did. So the ZR2 was a package you could get on the S10, like what I have. And that's all it was. It was just, like mine is 2 inches lower than a standard S10. The ZR2 was like probably 3 to 4 inches taller. Mm-hmm. And it had kind of a like off-road mud terrain tire on it. And then obviously it had four-wheel drive.
Right.
Whereas none of the extremes did. But I mean,
surely
this is
it
not
didn't have this
anything new
fancy
to
of a
them.
shock absorber.
Yeah, now that they're going to a spool valve damping system, it's going to take your $40,000 truck and turn it into a $50,000 truck before you add your options. I mean,
I
it's a
kind
very
of wonder.
expensive
I
setup.
kind of wonder if you're low on your estimate because of that suspension setup.
Think it's gonna be more than that?
Well, that's the bee's knees damper. That's the end all be all for GM right now. So we're already looking at a truck that you can spend more than 50 grand on. And this is going to be its top of the line version. I wouldn't be shocked if a full built one, especially if they'll sell it with the diesel, is going to top 60.
I don't see the point at all of that.
In a world where you can buy an $80,000 Suburban, this is what it's coming to. And then they'll be like, oh, why don't millennials buy new vehicles? Well, it's because they don't want to be...
I hate that. I hate every time I see that article. I'm like, really? Really?
I
You're
wonder
a
why.
journalist of all people. You make no money. You know why we don't buy cars.
You should step outside and look around once.
Yeah.
You have a degree that costs you $80,000 to get, and you make $40,000 a year.
Yeah,
You're going to go
lucky.
buy a brand new car?
Right, exactly. It's so stupid. But then they'll offer a bunch of incentives, and they'll offer like 10-year financing, and people...
Which is the worst idea ever.
Yeah, but some people will do it.
A lot of people.
A lot of people do it, and if they don't buy this, they'll spend 60 grand on a Sierra or something.
1010's top tip. I was deeply upside down in my TT at once. Never, ever, ever let yourself get in that position.
It's terrible.
It's miserable.
Yeah, it is
because I had a
miserable.
car I couldn't afford payment-wise or repair-wise and couldn't sell it
you're
because
losing
I'd
more
still owe money on it, and then I wouldn't have a car.
And then it's an unsecured loan, and they have the right to raise the interest rate on it. So, like, if you had a decent interest rate, they could raise it to, like, 13% if they wanted to.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Or more. They could raise it to, like, a credit card interest rate, which is over 20.
If you want to give an accountant anxiety, tell her that, or her, obviously I'm talking about one specifically, just to push buttons, tell her that you're thinking about buying a brand new truck because they're practically giving it away with 0% APR financing.
0% APR financing. $5,000 back, Robbie. You can't say no.
You can't afford not to.
You can't afford not to.
They're giving this away. I could just release it for a couple years.
Robbie, it's 0% for 89 months. So what's the problem?
89 months.
It's free money. It's free money, Robbie.
These brand new vehicles are giving them away. They want us millennials to buy them. Yeah, just watch the reaction.
Let me know when there's a Autoblog article that the Colorado has hand wind windows.
I'll be interested in that.
I'm still trying, people. I've still looked. I did a locate today, and the son of a bitch beat me there.
We should just call the fleet services because they have the fleet sales guys at the big dealerships. So just call them.
Carl's.
Can I get a hand crank, hand wind window set up on my Silverado or on my Colorado? Yes, sir. How many would you like? No. I just wanted to know if you could get it. That's all. Thanks. Bye. Click.
We might have to do that.
What are we doing Saturday?
Making calls.
We're going to wear suits and go in. I would like to speak with the fleet manager, please, because I have business things to do, and I am very busy.
I have enough polos that say ICS on them. We could all.
You could go in, yeah.
We could all three go in wearing, matching branded clothing. They'd think we're the fleet manager.
There you go. Perfect.
Too bad we've bought vehicles from Carl's and they'd know better, but whatever.
Oh, all this article made me think about was the fact that I won a Z28 Camaro.
Yep.
I was reading, I was like, these dampers are sick, dude.
They really are.
Should get a Z28
They're
Camaro.
cool.
Should get a Z28 Camaro.
They're impressive. It's a cool it's a cool design. Like I can't even begin to describe it to a way that
Let's
makes
engineer
sense.
this, Robbie.
Well, they use a spool valve and that. I'm not even going to try.
Google it.
Yeah,
watch the YouTube video that Robbie will make.
Yeah, go to YouTube and then watch it. Not what I'm making. Just go to be like, how does a spool valve work? And then you have fluid going in here, and then fluid pushes it here.
Aren't these magnetic at some level
these
too?
are not magnetic.
I thought
these are better than magnetic.
I thought they were the mag.
No,
these are not
these are
magnetic
better.
and not adjustable.
Yep. Well,
You get what you get. They can adjust.
They
them.
can tune them.
Yeah,
you can tune it. Then it gives it just gives a combination of ride quality and adaptability over rough terrain.
Aren't these available on the ATS-V as well, or the CTS-V?
I think those are magnetic.
Yep.
Are those mags?
Those are mags.
Well, these were used mostly in off-road and racing applications until recently. So now Chevy's kind of been the one company that's had success with commercializing it.
There's some crazy high-end supercar that has them too. Because
I know there is.
Chevy buys these from somebody. Chevy doesn't manufacture those. They buy them from somebody. And I don't remember who has them. I was listening to something, but it was like, we're talking some like $500,000 plus car.
Multimatic is the company that makes them.
And they have the same dampers as that Z28. And it was like one of those deals somebody was talking about, like when you're talking to somebody who owns one of these, like, oh yeah, my Camaro has those.
Yeah.
I'm that dude. I'll be this guy for a second. I'm that dude when they were like, I watched the video that GM produced. It was just a PR jerk off section, video about how when they were testing the Z28 braking, it was spinning the tire on the wheel and they had to put the knurling on.
I remember
I was that dude that was like, this is fucking sweet, dude. I need this in my life. And of course you go on like Jalopnik and read the comments and all the Mustang haters like, oh, this is fucking stupid. Oh, your wheel slips. Cool story, bro. But I was like, I fucking need this in my life right now.
It's crazy.
It's a little crazy.
They should put factory bead locks on it. That would have been sweet.
That would have been cooler. The knurling. Bead locks are way cooler.
GTR has knurling because they were popping beads on cornering, supposedly.
I heard that.
Bead locks are cooler, though.
Bead locks are cooler. Probably a little complicated.
Neat.
Needlessly complicated, but I don't care.
What's next, Robbie?
So Honda has set the FIA land speed record at the Bonneville Salt Flats.
In class.
In the Category A, Group 1, Class 4.
Ah, yes, of course. Class 4.
Yeah, okay.
We've been waiting years.
With Category 1 or Category 2?
Category A.
Oh, A,
shit.
not B.
You got your books mixed up. Yeah, NASA, CCA.
Yeah.
There's too many rules.
I spent time trying to figure out what the hell cars are in this class. Not a damn clue.
So they might be the only car in that class.
No, I don't
think
so.
They said this might not be as good as I thought it was.
I think it was this. actually the same class was with a Honda Formula One car that broke it last time. So whatever's allowed,
Whatever that class is.
whatever the hell is allowed in this class, a Formula One car meets it too.
This car has a slightly smaller engine.
The crazy thing is, they did it with a 660cc engine out of their S660 sports car.
That's kind of the funny thing. So they say, oh, it's the motor of the S660, but it's not, because the motor in the S660 is aluminum, and they were like, oh, it's not going to handle the boost pressure, so they built a cast iron one.
Yeah, everything else is like billet.
It's kind of like when you have these billet motors, like Excessive has that billet 2JZ. Oh yeah, it's a 2JZ. No, it's based on a 2JZ.
It meets the spec of a 2JZ.
You had a drawing of a 2JZ, and
this
you
is
changed
based on the motor that comes in the S660.
Yep. So the S660 has
which is super cool, and we don't get it.
It's like a shoe, but it's still cool. It's like a little tiny car.
It kind of looks like that.
It should be driver's car of the year.
It's a Miata,
for
but
Motor
slower,
Trend.
and I love it.
But it's smaller, and it's not trying to be anything other than
It reminds me of the Smart Coupe, or the what's the little the Roadster, the Smart
Roadster that we didn't get. That was cool.
That's what it reminds
See,
me.
I feel like there's a market for those cars because you have these inner city folk that want to buy fun, cute, adorable
Didn't
convertible
you see
things.
Daihatsu had a little tiny car too that was like 660 cc's and it was turbocharged?
Isn't that a K car?
Yeah,
So there's like this whole like sub market.
JDM yo.
Yeah, that we don't get any of them, and they have a bunch of these rad ones. So, dude.
So, dude.
Exactly.
But you know what the problem is? We're talking about these are small cars. It's
Tiny.
very, very small. They don't sell here. Can't sell small cars here.
I still don't know why though. There should be a market for that. I'd buy one.
Once gas prices go back up, then
I'd buy one of those
they'll come
used
back.
because I'm never going to buy a new car.
No, God no. That's just throwing money away. But anyways, since we haven't
What were we talking about?
the land record.
Oh, yes.
So how fast did they go?
261.875 miles per hour. And it was actually,
It's a standing mile, wasn't it?
yeah, it does an average of 2 runs, so it sounds like they go a mile one way
Yeah,
and
they
then a
turn
mile
and come
back,
back.
and then they have to. It's
You
whatever,
average
they
the two.
average the two.
So that you,
They actually hit
in
200.
theory, the idea is supposed to be that you cancel out any wind
Yep.
pushing you in one direction.
Yeah, because they hit 266 going one way and couldn't meet it on the way back.
I think this is the FIA record for 500 to 750 cc, whatever that means.
Yeah, it's more than one record.
That's
Right.
hauling
Yes.
ass.
Yes.
So that's a standing mile.
That's
how
fast.
I understood it. Yes.
I read standing
Because
mile.
that's not even like Bonneville Salt Flat style. That's
You got a mile. Good luck.
booking it.
Well, yeah, they didn't define. I couldn't find a place that actually defined it because I saw a video of them driving it and it said the Honda record.
Yeah.
And it was showing them being pushed by a Land Rover for a while, and then they took off. And I think that
By
was
a Land Rover? They couldn't even
I think it was
get,
just-
like
Does
a
everybody use a
Ridgeline?
Land Rover when they're going for records?
maybe it was a CRV. I don't know. I didn't pay attention. Who cares?
You need to get sponsored by Land Rover, apparently.
Yeah. But yeah, it takes a 600cc engine that when with all the billet and the cast iron and all everything, has only 190 horsepower, and they were still able to go 260 miles an hour.
That's all it did was 190?
190 horsepower, which is 3 times more than it made from the factory.
Good God.
It's crazy.
That's using horsepower right. It's
using efficiency.
Yes,
I wonder what it revs to.
all of them, like a million.
Because that's kind of the thing, small displacement engines, if you want to make big power, you got to rev.
Yeah, it's got to be going like 15,000.
That'd be
You think?
sweet.
Well, that's why they pushed it, the gearing.
Yeah.
Crazy. Don't we have another land speed record that was set recently?
Yes. Venturi set the new world land speed record for the electric car at 341 miles per hour.
Do we have a previous record?
Wasn't the
'Cause
Corvette?
was that Corvette?
I think it was the Corvette.
But I don't know if that was land speed or standing mile speed.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Immediately when I read this, I was like, oh, the Corvette record got
Car that
broken.
was like super a waste of money.
Yeah, it was. You could have a Corvette that was as fast with a Corvette with a camshaft in it for $250,000.
No, it was like 330 or something.
Oh yeah, it
it
might
was
have been.
something disgusting.
You heard of turbos, bro? Much cheaper.
But anyway, electric car.
Yep. So to achieve this, they had to complete 2 runs of an 11-mile course within 1 hour, and the average time taken to record for record purposes. So that's how they
Yeah.
got 341.
That's Bonneville
Their
style.
top speed was 358 miles per hour.
Man, that's
fast.
Booking it with a 3,000 horsepower engine.
Your scale is vastly different from the 190 horsepower we were just talking
To
about.
me, that makes that Honda record even
crazy.
more impressive.
And in a mile.
Yeah, a shorter distance with significantly less power. I know it's like 100 and some miles an hour is a lot of speed, but that's a lot of power and a lot of distance.
Yep.
It's crazy.
I'm sure it had a lot to do with batteries.
Well, the car was 11 meters long, and I'm sure it's all batteries.
Yes.
That's what, 30-some feet for
30, yeah,
for
like
us
33
Americans?
feet, roughly.
It's crazy.
It's nuts.
It's interesting.
But that's all I know about electric cars, really.
That was it.
So if it makes 3,000 horse, I wonder what it does for torque.
Like I don't know, like 20,000 probably. It's
probably not even.
because that's how
We have
that's
no
how-
idea.
Yeah, I'll say electric motors is ridiculous.
Yeah.
At no revs.
Yeah, it's just torque all the way across. It's just the whole way.
What up next?
The Ford GT test drivers were ticketed for going 101 in a 50-mile-an-hour zone.
Weren't there 3 of them?
3 of them.
In separate cars?
3 separate
Yeah.
cars in Colorado. They were assuming they're doing high altitude testing, and they got busted going
Way too fast.
50 miles an hour over the speed limit.
So my understanding of speed limit laws, at least in Iowa, is that double the speed limit, you do not drive home. You go to jail. And I think you're required to take like
A course.
the defensive driving course or whatever.
Yeah. I looked into
And
it.
obviously you're going to lose your license for a while.
Wow. So since it's over in Colorado, since it's over 20 miles an hour above the limit, you're required to have a court date.
Have to go to court.
Have to go to
There's
court.
none of that opting out by paying the ticket thing.
Yep. And I also did some more research and found that going more than 40 miles an hour above the speed limit is 12 points against your license, which is the equivalent, in Colorado, is the equivalent of a DUI or leaving the scene of an accident.
Ooh.
They're fucked.
Super fucked.
Oh my God.
Man.
Anytime that you compare a ticket to a DUI,
Yeah, you're super
You're
screwed.
done.
Yeah.
Do you know what a test driver needs?
oh,
A driver's license.
yes. Also, and if you get 12 points in a 12-month period, your license is suspended, and it's an even. I couldn't find anything like that pertained to like a test driver, but if you have a commercial license, it's even stricter than that.
Oh, yeah, for
So, I
sure.
mean,
They
if you
might
get-
take it forever.
Yeah,
I don't think you probably have to have a commercial license to do what they were doing.
yeah. I'm curious as to what license a test driver would need.
I would guess it's just a base license, just like
It's
I
not-
don't need a commercial license to drive my commercial van. It's only commercial licenses are only required based on weight.
Yeah, I suppose, and yeah, I guess if they're rarely ever on the street,
Yeah,
I don't even need a license.
they're not
Technically,
supposed to be doing anything that
On the street anyway.
that is out of the norm.
But apparently they were going so fast at some point that they got clocked and the officer couldn't catch them. Because they clocked him and then caught him in different places. Because they blew past the dude doing 100 in a 50, and it was in a twisty area, and he didn't feel like he could catch him. And so he radioed ahead to get some other officers to catch him.
This
They
is
were-
the thing
they were
I
booking
think
it.
is always funny about people. Oh, outrun the cops. There's one thing no matter how fast you go, there's one thing you'll never outrun. Radio.
There's too many of them, man. And they can all talk to each other. The sheriff can talk to the police department, yada, 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 back and forth. State troopers, they can all talk to each
And
other.
when you're in high-profile cars like that, they'll just be at your house.
oh yeah,
Yep. Yeah, they'll find you.
There's nowhere they could go.
Like, go do a $120 down Interstate 35 in a Ferrari. Take a 458. There's 2 of them in the county.
Yeah,
We'll roll the
they'll
dice
find
and
you.
have a cop.
They'll find it. They can call the DMV. Who's got a Ferrari?
Yeah.
The list is going to be pretty short, and they can, all the old shit they could cross off, and they could start. They could find you if they really wanted to.
Yeah.
I'm curious as to how cool their boss is because
Not that cool.
it can't.
Step-
These guys don't have jobs.
That's what I was going. Do they have jobs anymore? And I couldn't find a Ford advertisement for a test driver, but I found an Arctic Cat one. And the essential duties and responsibilities. Number 1 is operate test vehicles in a safe and professional manner.
Shit.
So they failed that.
You know what? If I was looking at this, if GM had been on the ball, somebody had took a picture, and it's the 3 GTs stopped by a Caprice. with the lights on. I was
The
like,
new
God
one?
damn it,
Come
GM.
on, GM.
Come on. At least a little trolling, like some unofficial,
No.
oh, whoa, no, somebody put that out they weren't supposed to. Damn it. Oh, God.
You know, there's some lawyer that said they couldn't do
You're right.
that.
They were getting ready to do it, and they're like, no.
We're better than
put it
we're
away.
not better than
You
that.
don't have to be better than that. Come on. Just looks perfect.
It would have been great.
And then one more to add to that. For testing purposes, it is necessary to possess a clean driving record.
Shit.
And be allowed to travel. Well, it's for them. It's to be allowed to travel in Canada. But
These people,
They're screwed.
they don't
They
have
lo-
jobs.
they
I
have to.
guarantee it. They're going to have to find new careers. 'Cause they're not going to get new jobs.
Ford has to fire him. It's a PR mess.
yeah, I mean, yeah, you take your prototype out and you're going 50 or 100,
Double
100 and a
speed
50.
limit, yeah. It's
They're,
not.
they're lucky no one died.
I mean, we're joking
Frankly,
about it, but
the speed limit doesn't matter.
No.
Because they were doing 100. At the end of the day, they were doing triple digits. It wouldn't matter if they were doing it in a 75. They're
Well, at least in the 75,
From a-
it'd probably be a straight
right,
line.
but from a PR perspective, they're screwed.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah,
it's a mess for Ford for sure.
because 50 miles an hour means they were probably going into or out of a town. Or around a,
That was
curvy
They're in a
road.
curvy
That was the
area.
curvy, real tight area. I'm sure they were. I mean, again, it goes back to what we just talked about. Cars too damn fast.
Yeah, if you're going 100 in a curvy area, they probably came up on somebody that they didn't see. Like, they come around
Right.
the
So you
cor-
don't have
come
any
around the-
visibility.
come around the corner, there's a tractor. They're lucky they're not dead.
That cop was out there looking for S2000s and stuff like that,
Doing 70 and a
doing
50
stupid shit. And
Yep.
then he came up on those.
supercars, and he was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
Especially when you have all of Ford's money, because Ford just wrote blank checks for that project. So you don't need to do high-speed testing on the road. You have whatever track you want to take that car to.
Oh, they were dicking around for sure.
Yeah, they were
There's
just
no
being
doubt about it.
assholes.
Right. Absolutely.
They're screwed.
Yeah.
What's next?
Well, I don't think you're going to have any interest in this. But Bob...
Me?
Yeah,
No, probably not.
I don't think you're going to like this.
I'm not. I don't. Nope.
Bob Lutz and Henrik Fisker want to build a supercharged LS Fisker.
I'm not interested in that at all.
You don't like LS
I don't.
things,
I
right?
actually like electric cars over. I want a really small, like diesel, preferably engine that generates power for an electric motor. Yeah.
I'm impressed right now. You got that out without even so much as cracking a smile, let alone laughing.
It's the greatest fucking car ever made. No, it's maybe not the greatest car ever made, but I for sure like the idea.
Well, I didn't realize that Fisker Karma wasn't really a thing anymore, and now that it's Karma Rivero is the company. So then
I think the Rivero's the car, isn't it? And the Karma's
changed-
the company.
no, there's three cars. It's the VLF Force One is based on the Viper platform.
I was going to say there's a Viper too.
Yep. That's kind of their thing is that they don't change platforms. They take like they take a Mustang, they take a Viper, and they just change that
the body.
platform. Yes. The Rocket uses the Mustang platform and has 725 horsepower, supercharged 5.5 liter V8. Backtracking, the Viper has 745 horsepower with Viper V10.
It's the Force One, is what that one's called.
Yes. And then the Destino, I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong, uses the Fisker Karma platform with a 6.2 liter 640 horsepower LS9. And
So
that's
does
probably
it-
what you're interested in.
It still looks like the old Karma though, right?
Looks great.
Which I think is super
It's a good looking car.
Yeah, they're very good looking cars. You remember the one we saw at Grid Life?
Yes.
There was one at Grid Life.
Yes,
I think
I
that
do.
was like a genuine Karma. But, oh man.
Good stuff.
Takes all the things I
Spot
didn't
on.
like about the Karma and fixes them.
It weighs 1,100 pounds less than a stock Karma with a supercharged V8.
Yeah, I believe that.
It's crazy.
Holy cow, that's insane.
Did you look at that Rocket though?
Is it really ugly?
It's terrible.
It's the one I think
The front
is,
of it,
isn't
like I want to like the front because it's different, but the rest of it is terrible.
Yeah, it looks
It's
like
kind of a mess.
It looks like a Mustang with a body kit to me.
Looks like what
say it.
most
I'll say it.
Mustangs do owners do Mustangs. So.
Yep.
Ricer.
Ricer. It is pretty Ricer, actually.
It's clearly the riciest of the three.
What about the Viper one?
The Force One. It's pretty sweet.
It's
I thought.
awesome.
I don't like
it's
the
cool.
name.
It's a stupid
No,
name.
they're very amateur names. Like the Rocket.
Yeah, but it's Bob Lutz, and he just
Yeah,
more
I-
horsepower and jet engines.
You know how to fix this problem? Horsepower.
And he's right.
Add more power and more cylinders, and give it a jet fighter name, and put it into production. Let's go.
When you drive that, you have to be wearing Air Force Ones, and you have to be listening to Nelly.
Just constantly?
Yeah, just
That's a steep price, though. I don't know if I want to pay that.
I can live that life.
You could live that life
think
for
so.
a V10
Oh yeah.
supercar thing, luxury supercar
My
thing.
problem is that motor does not sound like a V10 should to me.
See, I haven't had a chance to hear it.
The Vipers, there's some reasoning behind it. I don't know. These are engineering things I don't really care about. But the Viper does not sound like a V10 like the Audi / Lambo V10 does, which to me is what a V10 should sound like.
See, I kind of like the Vipers. They have like a growl.
Yeah, they're more V80.
Yes. And
I'm
sure they designed it that way. And
probably, but that's
just like with the Lexus LFA, where they designed that to sound like a F1 pitch.
Formula One.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's more my speed.
I won't argue with that.
So
Did you look at how they build these cars and actually get them into production
To an
legally?
extent.
Because they were talking about how they don't change certain things.
Yeah.
Like they'll use a production headlight from something that's DOT approved already, and then they don't change like the seating position, the seatbelt points, the A-pillars. They don't change any of that stuff on the car that they're using as the donor car, and then they can get it into production without having to do a crash test.
So these are kit cars.
Yes,
I would call it modern coach building.
Yeah, it is
what I
modern
would
coach
call it.
building, but that's kind of the basis of a lot of kit cars, using headlights from other cars and trying to keep a lot of the same crash structure so that doesn't have to be changed. It's kit car 101. But yes, it's modern coach building. That's exactly
I thought
what
it was.
it is.
I mean, it's pretty clever, if nothing else, because then he kind of skirts all of that legality nonsense that could potentially come up when you change too many things.
Yeah, I like
So it's
it.
interesting.
I like the idea.
Interesting
I
car
don't
company.
think the Rocket's going to go anywhere, but maybe
He also has an.
I feel like the Rocket was done with Galpin too,
I have no idea.
which is what Galpin is what the place that did Pimp My Ride became.
It's not West Coast Customs anymore, bro.
No, and I think that I probably wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure that's a joint venture, or that's where that came
In
from.
that case, it shows.
Yeah, it looks exactly like some.
Some bullshit from West Coast
It does. It's exactly what it looks like.
Customs. Yeah.
That's what it's called, West Coast Customs. I couldn't think of it. I was drawing a blank on it, but they're Galpin now.
It's a stupid name.
Galpin Autosports, or GAS.
Oh, gross.
yeah, I did know they changed their name to Gas.
Yep.
Gross.
That guy always looked like he was strung out on something to me.
Which dude?
The main guy, the white guy that was in charge.
Oh yeah, for sure. I thought you were talking about Mike, the stereo dude. He
X
was
to
cool.
the Z exhibit.
X to the Z is baller.
Does anybody know any of the music he did?
Yes.
Yes.
He's good.
Really?
He's good.
I'm just
He's
out of
broke
the
now,
rap
but
loop.
he was good. He's
Yeah.
solid, dude.
Yeah, he was
for
big
real.
in the 90s.
Yeah.
Early
He was big.
2000s?
Yeah, like Ice Cube, that same time
Yeah,
period.
yeah. I know the song Alcoholic really well.
He was a little bit. He was slightly more underground than like the more mainstream guys like Dre and Snoop.
I feel like he probably would have done better for himself if he would have steered clear of Pimp My Ride.
I don't know.
I think he
Made
needed
him a
the money.
household name.
I think he
Yeah,
needed
but
the
I
money.
don't. But I think he's broke now.
He's for
because
sure
he
broke
can't
now.
get anything because of it.
I think he should have stopped spending his money on stupid shit.
There you go.
Rule number 1 of having money is don't spend it on stupid shit.
That's
I
why
think
I'm
that's his
never
problem.
going to have any money.
Are cars stupid shit?
No.
Okay, good.
By the strictest definition for the general population, abso-fucking-lutely.
Damn it. Worth it. And we'll finish this off with the 2017 Nissan GTR Nismo is now $100,000 more than the base model in 2008 was.
Michael, how much do you love the new GTR?
None.
Michael has this like really huge hatred for that.
We're going to end this on the most negative note ever.
I don't hate it. I don't like the fanboys, and it's as a car. I'm sure it's great, but it's like it's just like a Nissan, bro. Like, calm down.
A friend
Keep
of
your pants
mine.
on.
A friend of mine has a GTR. He lives in Sioux Falls, and he hates that car for
does he?
that reason. Like, you can't drive down the
Oh,
interstate
yeah.
in that car without having dudes losing their fucking mind while they're driving by you. And then so they're trying to take pictures while they're over their shoulder trying to take pictures of you while you're driving on the road, and they're swerving in their lane and stuff like that. He's like, I hate this car for that reason.
That's what Sean said too. from Midwest Exclusive.
Yeah.
Dudes. It's a giant dude party every time you bring it out.
Matt Farah is famous for saying that if you want to attract dudes, get a car. Girls hate them. Girls don't care about cars.
100%.
Get a puppy or a horse if you want to get a girl.
That's true.
A motorcycle will do you much better than a car will.
It'll get you the right kind of girl. A motorcycle will. Think about it.
I would not use the word right kind.
We have different tastes, Robbie.
Maybe
Just
the
calm down.
right kind for you.
You're not going to take her home to mom.
No. Not on a motorcycle.
Or your
Are you kidding
friends
me?
even.
Every time I see Michael's mom, she asks me if Michael has a girlfriend yet, and my response to her is, he tells me probably less than he tells you, so you're asking the wrong person.
You're an enigma.
People don't need to know.
All right, so back to the GTR.
He's going to be mad at me for sharing such personal things, but I don't even
whatever.
care.
After ridiculing me for an entire episode, it's only fair that we...
It's been more than one episode.
Exactly.
I believe, what is this, 38? So
Yes.
that many episodes.
Yeah. So the base back in 2008 was $70,000, and back then when it was breaking Nürburgring records and it was, beating all these $200,000, $300,000 cars, yeah, it was a hell of a bargain. But now you can get the Nismo GTR, which really isn't performing that much better, that much better, and it costs $170,000. It's not worth it.
Put that into perspective for me. What other kinds of cars can I get at that price point?
You can get an R8, a used Murcielago, or a used MP412C.
I'd have that used Murcielago.
All day long.
I'll take the R8, please.
I know you would.
Speaking of fanboys,
I'll wave at you as I'm passing you.
I'll admit it.
And not only that, even the base model now is still $110,000. To me,
It started at 80.
originally it was 80. So now,
It did get more horsepower to be.
2008.
Fair.
2008, it was 478 horsepower with 434 foot-pounds of torque. Even now, they still hold their value pretty well. A used one's about $50,000. The 2017 Nismo is 565 horsepower with 467 foot-pounds of torque.
I think the big thing that they have now that they didn't then was a drivetrain that won't grenade itself like it did. I mean, the GTR was famous for this. We have launch control, but you can't use it because you'll blow up the transmission if you do. Those first gen, the first run of it.
The 08s are really bad for them.
Yeah, there's that famous YouTube video that everybody dubs things over from Hitler, and he's screaming about how mad he is that he can't use launch control on his on his GTR. The new ones don't have that problem until you start modifying.
Right. I remember Southside Performance when they were a shop in Sioux Falls. They had the world record GTR at the time, and it's since been beaten multiple times, but they were famous because they had a transmission replacement kit that you bring your GTR and you replace your transmission with their transmission components, and then you have a fully built transmission. I'm sure it was like $30,000.
Yeah, they still do. Shep Trans does it too, and
Yeah, I think that company's now in Texas, I believe, but
that
he got a lot.
SSP started in Sioux Falls.
Yeah, he got in a lot of financial trouble
Because they build like billet gear sets for Lambos, like twin turbo Lambos and shit like that. I didn't realize they were from Sioux Falls.
I want to say Houston. I think he got in a lot of trouble. Like, it was like he, dodging taxes, stuff like that, and there's a huge lawsuit, and he booked it out of there.
Huh? I didn't know that.
Interesting.
So yeah, the Nissan GTR is. If I had $170,000 spent on a car, it
wouldn't be on a GTR.
It will not be a new GTR.
Nope.
Especially when I can go and buy a used.
Yeah, if I was gonna
anything.
Because I could buy a $50,000 one and put $60,000 worth of parts into it and have
much
way
better
better
car.
than anything that.
I would rather get a $100,000 Lamborghini and take it to underground racing and see how much stuff they would give me for $70,000.
Absolutely.
That's what I would do.
Your money goes a lot further if you go that direction. I don't know. I'm sure they're going to sell like crazy. I don't understand why, but
I
I'm
think
sure they
their
will.
sales have been doing the whole dropping thing.
Well,
but it's
But if you increase your prices by 35%,
without
they're going to
any
do that.
significant.
Motor Trend too, in that Camaro, they said it's obviously not as good as it used to be.
No.
Because everybody else has gotten so much better, and that car's still kind of the same. I mean, it's a little better, but it's not.
It's only been minor facelift changes and few things here and there since 2008. We've kind of talked about this
transmission feels kind of clunky, and it's not as just not as refined as
Motor Trend.
2008, that transmission was like
The bomb.
bee's knees.
That's where it's at.
They have not increased 10 years in technology while everybody else has.
Yeah.
And then they were also saying that out of all the cars that Motor Trend tested, the Nismo or the Nissan GTR was the only one that had problems with the fuel. They had to have octane booster. They could not run on 91. So if we bought it here, we would not be getting optimal performance driving around with the gas we have in Iowa.
Unless it's flex fuel, you'd be screwed.
Yep.
You can put 110 octane E85 in it, you're golden.
Meh. Stick to my 93.
I know you guys hate ethanol.
I'm not saying I necessarily hate E85.
I'm not
but
against it, but nah.
Robbie's not in on it.
Not yet.
He's not going to do it. Not for his car.
Not for my car. I'm not against it, but not for my car.
What else we got?
That's all we got.
Boom. Let's end the show.
All right, good night.
Hit that. Jeez, Robbie. I had something to say. Don't just cut me off like that, you jerk.
I'm done with this show.
Fuck this.
Drop the
podcast.
mic.
Fuck it. Flip a table and leave.
Robbie's out. We're never doing
Robbie's
another
had
show
enough.
again.
Yep.
He's tired of our shit.
God, he fucked up my rhythm. I was going to say go to 1010podcast.com and check out our store, but since Robbie doesn't give a shit, don't go there then. Fine.
I fixed all the shipping information on it, so yeah, if you order things, it'll be perfectly good.
We've kind of stalled out on our rating and review on iTunes and stuff. So go leave us a rating, leave us a review, please. It helps.
We like reading
them. It helps our rankings and whatnot.
Yeah, we appreciate it for sure.
And I enjoy reading them and trying to guess who they are based on our interactions.
And if it's really good, we'll read it on the show.
Also, you need to pick out a nickname for More Bucks, Michael.
Megabucks.
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 Trust fund Michael. Something.
Trust
Adam-
fund.
Adam Jabay coined Megabucks.
Megabucks. And he had one other one, too. I can't remember
Yeah, I
what it
don't
was.
remember what
he's good
he
at
gave
that.
you ones for both of them.
He's good. He's good at that.
He
type
should
of stuff.
subscribe to he should get on iTunes and leave us a rating. I left one for his podcast. What's he doing?
Oh, that's a call out right there. I'm pretty sure we gave you a little help with this store idea as well, so maybe you should rate and review us on iTunes. That's all I'm saying. Not a big deal. Need your free time. Maybe tomorrow. Podcast friends.
Podcast enemies now.
I don't have anything else. Let's end it.
Bye.
Next week. See you later.
Keep the annex up and the pedal down.
Thanks, Robbie.
Is that like Horror Island?
No,
Like
Horror Island would be
Gilligan's
great.
Island.
Isn't Horror Island from 30 Rock?
Sorry, I was thinking about Horror Island. It's from Archer.
Is it from
Of
Archer?
course it's
It's
from
from Archer.
Oh, okay.
Is there really a place called Horror Island?
No.
What am I doing here?